you might feel like, oh God, somebody's already written a zombie apocalypse thriller or breakdancer. So make them fucking disco dancers. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's different ways to do it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Chris 2 Cents podcast with your boy, Chris Stevens, a writer who's going to talk about his 2 cents with common sense. Hopefully you all are doing well out there. Hopefully you're ready to attack another week. Yeah, it's Monday. Yeah, we don't know what horrors await us in these United States, but we're going to make the most of it, man. We're going to make chicken salad out of this chicken, you know what. So thank you all for tuning in, wherever you're listening or wherever you're watching is what I'm trying to say. Greatly appreciate you. All the contact information in the description below. Not going to waste too much of your time because it's a busy week ahead for me. I do have an important announcement that one will be made at the end of this show. And no, actually, no, I think I'm just going to say that for a separate little short. Y'all can check that out whenever. But there might be a bigger announcement that probably will call for a full explanation of what's going on. So that being said, don't worry, it's nothing bad. It's something that's very, very good. I'm very excited about this. If it all goes through, but you got to cross fingers, dot the I's, cross the T's, all that good stuff. But yes, so the good news about this particular show is your boy has finally restarted another novel project. Yes, I've told you guys before about my 12 books, which you can find the link to at my Amazon page in the description below. I don't know if I'm going to put this one on Amazon because there are different ways to self-publish, and I'm tired of putting money in Jeff Bezos' pocket as he continues to destroy democracy by his evil plans with the Washington Post. So I think that's something I'm going to have to explore once I finish this book, but it's not finished yet. It's not even close to being finished, but I think it's going to be finished in time for a spring-summer situation, which is where the book is based in. So I'm very excited to bring this to you. And I'm excited because I want to share with you guys some of the things that I've learned during my 10 going on 11 years of self-publishing my own novels and novellas and short stories and all of that good stuff. The story about how I started writing creatively as an adult is a whole nother episode in itself. I may do that later on, but just for now, I want to give you guys 5 important things that I've learned that I think can help you if you're interested in writing anything creative, whether it's a novel, a short story, a whatever, something creative, with fictional characters and all of that. So these are 5 things that I've learned. I'm going to start with number 1 off the rip. Read other people's work. You have to figure out what a good novel entails, and you can't do that just flying blind. I mean, there are some people who are talented enough to just say, okay, I don't need to, go through anybody else's stuff. I can just write these words down on the page, boom, 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 and be done with it. Even those of us who have written forever, we still read other people's work. Like, for me, I enjoy reading so many different black novelists, for example, like the late Eric Jerome Dickey. And when I left my library job and they were whittling out the old stuff, they were like, Chris, we know you write. Do you want these Eric Jerome? Hell yeah. So whatever copies they didn't want of those, I took those. I'm a big reader of Walter Mosley. I'll explain why Walter Mosley is important to me in a second. I'm a huge Zane fan. Yes, there was a internet radio show that I had years ago where I had to read a passage from Zane, and it's probably part of my lore. But I didn't mind it because I enjoy reading Zane, and of course I enjoy reading my indie friends like D.L. White, Tasha Harrison, Jason Graham, folks like that. I read their stuff. Eliza David. Well, yeah. Well, you've seen Eliza on the show as Kelly. And, Kelly's her government name, but she wrote under the pen name Eliza David. And that was how we first connected because I was reading her Cougarette series and I was just like, yo, these are really, really good. And, she was one of the people that inspired me to get back into creative writing. So you have to read other people's work. Read other people's work so you can figure out what it is. It doesn't have to be black romance or black fiction like I do. Whatever you want to write, whether it's science fiction, whether it's Westerns, whether it's crime novels, read the people that are heavy hitters, or not even heavy hitters, people who are just good at writing those genres. And then, you can figure out your own ideas from there. Number two, once you start writing, make sure that you are in a creative space of in a creative state of mind and in a creative space. Like for me, I can't write in my house, which is so weird because I'm the only one that lives here. I don't have any roommates, I don't have any children, I don't have a spouse, I'm not taking care of any relatives. I live on my own. And I have to go somewhere else to write. It is the craziest thing. Like literally, I have so much space. Like I could write from my kitchen table. I could write from my bedroom, which is where I'm doing this podcast, this little corner office that I've called out for myself. I can go in my living room and write, but I can't. The craziest thing is I have to go somewhere else and write. And the place that I always go is the local library branch that is about 2 or 3 miles from my house. It's just a better scenery. There's trees outside. There's a playground, in the background for, noise sake. I mean, the library I go to is just really, really peaceful. But it's still a flow of traffic. So it doesn't feel like, it's just complete and utter silence. And also, those of you who write if you want to write using music, I highly recommend lo-fi. There's a channel that I subscribe to on YouTube. It's called the Jazz Hop Cafe. I'll put the link to that in the description below. They have some great playlists of just straight instrumental stuff that can just help you vibe and get into the groove. And as far as the groove, number 3, figure out what writing style works for you. Don't do what someone else does just because they're your idol and it works for them. Do it because it works for you. Do whatever works for you. Like I mentioned Walter Mosley earlier. I'll never forget, I signed up for his masterclass. I need to go back and rewatch his masterclass because he had some great points in it. But he said that his novel writing style is different from most people because he wakes up, writes 1,000 words, that's it. Gets up the next day, rereads that 1,000, writes another 1,000, and he just continues that process on. And I tried that for a while. I was still trying it like offhandedly, but at the same time, Mosley is a different animal. I mean, he's just a different beast than the rest of us. I mean, this is a dude who literally came into writing because he wasn't feeling fulfilled as a computer programmer. His marriage was falling apart, all this other stuff, and he enrolled in a writing class, and the writing teacher told him, "You are Black and Jew. There are riches within." And he just sort of ran with that, which is how you get Easy Rollins from the Easy Rollins series. You get what else? Ptolemy Gray and all these other great characters that he has, put together and given them life. And yeah, that's a great way to think about it. Okay, 1,000 words today. Okay, that's good. But then sometimes you just get in the groove. Like there are times where I've written like 5,000 or 6,000 words in one day. And there's just been times I just wanted to keep going. And then there are other days where I get like 200 or 300 at the most. It's some days that it just ain't happening. And you got to realize that. There are some days where you can just write until you can't. And then there are days where you can't write. You got to take the good with the bad. I mean, I think for me, the most important thing that I have is that once I have a general idea of how I want a story to go, I just write and try to figure out the rest later. I mean, because I stole this from The Undertaker when he was Big Evil in the WWE. He used to say, "Hey, there's too much talking around here. Just shut up and fight." This was like 2003 Undertaker. And once I started writing, I was like, I'm too busy living in my own head. I need to shut up and write. And once I make up my mind to shut up and write, everything else just sort of falls into place. The only problem is that's been kind of hard for me in recent years with, job responsibilities, my own personal struggles with, anxiety and depression and different things of that nature, and my personal life and all of that. It's been a challenge. But, once I make up my mind to shut up and write, we're pretty much good to go. So that's 3 things. Number 4, do not be afraid that you are copying someone else. I mean, yeah, there's plagiarism. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's such a thing as plagiarism. Like if you're just taking people's characters and names and all of that, and if you're taking people's whole books word for word, then yes, that's plagiarism. But there are different ways to tell the same story. Because this is where your creativity comes in. These people don't know your characters. I mean, yes, they might know this person's main character, like this person's legend book or whatever, but the story, the plot, it can be told many different ways with many different characters, with different twists and different outcomes. So yes, you might feel like, oh God, somebody's already written a zombie apocalypse thriller or breakdancer. So make them fucking disco dancers. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's different ways to do it. There are different ways to, write a story, and you can't be afraid that you're muscling in on anybody's territory or that your book is going to get lost in the sauce because everybody's writing about it. No, romance is one of the most popular genres. It probably is the most popular genre in fiction reading. And people are like, how many different ways can you write about people falling in love and having sex? Millions. So you can't be afraid. And people are probably like, how many science fiction, how many alien invasions can you write about? Well, I mean, the aliens are riding by Earth and saying, nah, we good. That's another story you could write. Like, why aren't the aliens here? So, I mean, if we were supposed to have a, alien invasion, they probably looking at Earth said, nah, we good. So, there are different ways to write a story. You can't be afraid of that. So we've gone through 4 things so far. Read someone else's stuff, put yourself in the zone, find out what writing style works for you, and don't be afraid that your plot is going to get lost or that your plot is going to be copying anybody else, because, there are stories that people can tell differently from others. So you can't be afraid of that. And the 5th thing is you have to be resolute in what you do. Like this writing thing, writers, we joke all the time, like, wow, I actually have to write. I feel attacked. Like it's a running joke. But yes, we all know at the end of the day where the rubber meets the road, or where the pen meets the paper, or the fingers meet the keyboard, whatever your pleasure, you got to get down to brass tacks and do it. And that's something that I have struggled with. Like the last thing I've finished, what did I finish last? Damn, I can't even remember what I finished last. Yes, I do. It was Party Favors. That was 2023. Or was it 2020? No, it was 2023. Party Favors was 2023. And it took me a couple of years, and then I wrote Man Child of Summer in 2021 before that. And then the summer before that, I wrote In Focus. But yes, I'll put the link to my entire Amazon catalog in the description below. You guys can check that out at your leisure. Every ebook is 99 cents. Everyone else is like, you should charge more. And I'm like, okay. So I think this next book may not be 99 cents, but it's going to be worth your while. I'll make the full announcement on that later. So yes, to recap, here are the 5 things that you need to know about writing that I have learned that I think can help you. Number 1, read someone else's stuff. Whoever is in the genre that you want to write, find out who the big dogs are, who the bosses are in that field. Read their best stuff. Read some of their worst stuff. Read some of their stuff that people were critical of, and figure out what style is going to work for you. That's number 2. Number 2 is when you make up your mind to start writing, make sure you have a great space for yourself, whether that's whatever drink, whether it's coffee, whether you need a bagel, or whether you need to be by myself and leave the damn house and go write somewhere else. Make sure you have yourself set up when you're in to put yourself in the mood to write. Number 3, figure out what writing style works best for you. Not what this person has done, not what that person has done, what works for you. Number 4, be sure that there's different ways to write a story. Don't run from it. Don't feel like you're copying off of anybody. As long as you create your own characters in your own setting, the plot can be whatever it's going to be, because we're all writing the same plots after a while. There's a main character, there's a beginning, middle, and an end in every novel. Simple and plain. And number 5, do it. It's that simple. So to recap, read someone else's stuff, put yourself in a creative mood to write, figure out what writing style works for you, write your story. Don't worry about whatever, don't be afraid, to glean ideas from other people, and just get it done. Sounds simple, but trust me, it takes me sometimes 2 and 3 years to come up with an idea that I feel good about. I had an idea that I felt real good about that I'm going to try to revisit in time for Christmas, but it just isn't vibing with me right now. But there are other stories that are kind of like the story that I just plucked out of thin air last week. feels like it's going to go somewhere. But I have to see it through first and go from there. So I'll tell you more about that when I get closer to the finish line, when I have everything all figured out. But yes, that's going to do it. 15 minutes just about. Greatly appreciate y'all for watching this edition, listening to this edition of Chris 2 Cents. That's my 2 cents about writing. So these are the 5 things that I feel like you can learn from. And if you want to write, and just keep these in mind, and you won't go wrong. I promise you. Once again, contact information will be in the description below. Once again, I may have some announcements later on in the week to discuss with you guys, and I'll let you guys know what's going on. It's nothing bad. It's probably everything that, the old saying goes, you wanted to eat, so don't be mad if your plate is full. My plate is starting to fill up a little bit right now. But the good news is I'm not starving, and that's always a good thing. So thank y'all for watching and listening to this edition of Chris 2 Cents. Greatly appreciate your time. There may be another episode this week. I'll let you guys know about that. So till the next time we speak, y'all be good or be good at it. Happy writing.